A lot of people think that you cannot find deals on the MLS, and I'm here to prove them wrong. There are so many deals to be found and so much money to be made on the MLS, and a lot of real estate investors and wholesalers don't utilize it. All I want to teach you in this video is how you can deal with the MLS and how you can find deals on the MLS in a general sense. Now, there's a lot of details that I can go into as far as what type of searches to make, what kind of keywords you can search for homes to buy, what kinds of homes to offer on the MLS. But I'm not gonna get into all that today. All I want to teach you in this video is how you can proceed with working on the MLS, whether you're a wholesaler or a real estate investor. Because I wanna help you make money from the MLS when everyone says you can't, and if the market's too hot or it's too much of a seller's market, they say you can't make money. I wanna teach you how. There are a couple very, very important things to do before ever working on the MLS. And the first thing and the most important thing is to get some type of either pre-approval or a proof of funds. And you might be sitting there and thinking, wait, I'm a wholesaler, I don't have any money, I have $0 in the bank. How do I get proof of funds? Or how do I get a pre-approval? Here's how. I want you to reach out to a hard money lender, and I've actually made a separate video on how you can find a hard money lender. But reach out to at least one, and then ask that hard money lender if they can provide you either a proof of funds or a pre-approval letter, because you want to start making offers on the MLS. And here's the key to working with hard money lenders if you're a wholesaler. Don't tell them you're a wholesaler. And you might be thinking, hey, that's kind of sketchy. Why aren't you being honest and open? Here's why. No hard money lender, maybe some might, but no smart hard money lender will want to give you a pre-approval if you're just gonna hold something away and not end up using them and buying with them. A hard money lender makes their money when a real estate investor buys a home and uses them to buy the home. So they use them and they pay them interest. That's how they make money. So if you go to a hard money lender and you tell them, hey, I'm a wholesaler, I need a pre-approval, can you get me one? They're gonna tell you to kick rocks. So one, approach them as the real estate investor, as the person who's actually gonna buy the home, because someone will buy the home. And if you're not a wholesaler and you want to be a real estate investor, then this is perfect. Just go to them and actually tell them you're the real estate investor, because you are. That hard money lender might ask for a couple documents and kind of verify what your plan is, what you're planning to do, and that's okay, just talk to them. But they'll either be able to provide you a pre-approval letter or a proof of funds from their proof of funds, their bank statements. Either or works, but you need this because of this. If you go ahead and start looking for deals on the MLS and you start shooting out offers to all these realtors, all these listing agents, and then one actually hits and one says, hey, I'm gonna consider that offer, let's write it up. And they write up an offer for you, or you have your own agent to write up that offer, which I don't recommend, but let me explain. Again, let's say one of your offers hits and they want you to write up the offer, and let's say you use that listing agent to write up your offer. So if they were to write up an offer for you for their listing, they're going to ask you, can I have a proof of funds? Or they're gonna say, can I have a pre-approval? Either or. And if you don't have one, they're gonna tell you to kick rocks. So don't waste your time. Do this first. I promise you, get the pre-approval or get the proof of funds first from a hard money lender, or like a rich uncle or someone you know and trust that they would be willing to share their bank account if they're planning to lend for you for a home. So either or, I think it's easier to use a hard money lender. I think that's where most people are at. I don't think most people have access to a very rich uncle that is just willing to lend them all the money. But do this first. That's step number one, get a pre-approval letter or a proof of funds. Once you have that, now you're in business. Now you can start working on the MLS and work with realtors without them telling you to kick rocks. So now you have the necessary pre-approval or proof of funds. Here's what you do next. I want you to first understand that if you want to get a deal on the MLS, you got to be one of two things. You have to either be the very first person to get to that deal and make the offer, or you're the last person to make the offer. So you're either at the very beginning making that first offer right when it hits the market, and that's when you get your opportunity, or the house has been sitting for 90 plus days on market. There's no offers, the seller's tired, but they're still wanting to sell, the agent's tired, and then you make that offer. So you're either first or last. That is how you get the deals on the MLS. And you could be a combination of those, because you might be the first to offer, they reject you, and then you follow up, and continue to follow up until you're that last offer. That's how you get the deals on the MLS, just in a general sense. And look, there is no right or wrong way to search for deals on the MLS. You can literally offer on everything, and I do that. But here's how I make offers on the MLS. And I'm gonna explain this in a way where you don't need access to anything. Like, let's say you don't have access to the MLS yourself, or you don't have PropStream or any other services you can use, but you probably have Zillow because you have the internet, I'm assuming. The first thing you should do if you're not a realtor yourself is you want to get access, and you should get access to the MLS by some way. And you don't necessarily have to have all the aspects of the MLS. I'm just saying you want to be able to know when homes hit the market, not just by looking at Zillow. You want to look straight from the MLS. And so find a realtor you can trust. And nowadays they actually have an MLS app. So most realtors can share their MLS app with you by just texting it to you. You can download the MLS app, and then you can literally start searching for homes on your phone. It's like Zillow in your pocket. That's all it is. So you know instantly when new homes hit the market, when they go pending, and when they're sold. And like I said at the beginning, I'm not gonna go super in depth with all the strategies. I just wanna tell you and explain to you how you can approach the MLS. So identify your criteria and what you want to offer on, whether that's single family homes, whether it's multifamily, condos, whatever. And when those new homes pop on the market, make an offer. I don't care if it's $100,000 less than what they're asking, make the offer. And here's what I suggest when you work on the MLS. Make your best offer. Put your best foot forward. And that's honestly for any market. Like whether it's a seller's market, buyer's market, doesn't matter. Because most of the time, if you're an investor and you're offering prices that you want to purchase for cash, so at massive discounts, most of the time, they're gonna say no. And that's okay. All you gotta do is have some type of system where you can follow up and continue to follow up until that home gets sold. You wanna be the investor that's consistently checking in with that listing agent to make sure that the home's actually being sold. So maybe it just goes active, you make your offer, they say no. Like, no, not a chance. You said, okay, no problem. Check in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you say, hey, what's going on with this property if it's still listed? Or maybe it's pending. And if it's pending, just tell them, hey, I'm still interested. Here's where my offer still stands. This is where I'm at. Because often a lot of homes fall out of escrow. And when they fall out of escrow, you want to be the one investor that listing agent is going to remember, because you've been constantly nagging at them, offering and telling them that you're still offering that same price. So they know you're legit. And sometimes being first is a good thing. So you can make the first offer. Sometimes they're ready to accept it, but very, very rarely. Most of the times, at least from what I've seen, you have to do a lot of follow-up if you want to get an MLS deal. So it's likely going to be a home that's been sitting on the market for 90 plus days. Seller has no more offers. They maybe had 1-2 escrows fall apart already, and they're just kind of desperate. They're ready to sell their homes, but every other buyer has been bad and they backed out for whatever reason. That is your ideal target. And now that you know the general way you should be working with the MLS deals and how you can get them, I want to also explain how you can work with a realtor, so with all the listing agents. Here's what I recommend. If you first connected with another realtor to share their MLS access with you, and I say if they're actually sending you the deals and you found the deal from them sending it to you, use that realtor. Use your realtor that sent you the deal as your buyer representation. So make sure that they know, hey, you sent me this, and because you sent me this, I will let you represent me. But if you found the deal yourself and you're just searching on the MLS yourself, you can make an offer to the agent directly, which is what I recommend you do. Here's exactly what I do. Let's say a new home pops up on the market, and I'm actually not a realtor myself anymore. I'm still an agent, but not a realtor, so I don't have the MLS access myself. What I do is I look at the home that popped up on the market, I identify and ask myself, is this something that I want to buy? If yes, I start to crunch the numbers. And once I crunch the numbers, that's when I reach out to the listing agent. And if you're not a realtor yourself and you're just using another realtor's MLS access, you probably don't have the contact information for the listing agent. And if you want to find it, it's super, super easy. You could do it for free, even if you don't have any other services. Here's what you do. Type in that property address to Google, press enter, click the first Zillow result on Zillow. If you're not familiar with Zillow, get familiar with Zillow. And if you scroll down just a little bit on Zillow, there's the listing agent name as well as their license number. You select that, copy it, paste it to Google. So you're searching the agent name and their license number on Google. And if they have anywhat of a reputation, they will pop up. You will be able to find their number on Google from their brokerage or any other websites they have. And I just text the agent. And all I text the agent is this: hi, my name's Justin. Would your seller entertain an offer of $100,000 for this property? Question mark. That's it. Initially, when you make that first text, They don't need to know all this information about you. They don't need to know that you're a new investor or that you're a big time investor or whatever. You just need to figure out if they're gonna accept your offer, if the offer is too low or if it fits what the seller's looking for. That's all you need to know. And most of the time, they're gonna say no. Like you'll say, no, not interested, not a chance, no way. You'll get those responses. So if you get that response from them and they tell you, no, we will not consider that offer, here's exactly what I text back. I have it an exact template of it. I say, got it. This one won't work, but I'd still love to connect with you. I'm looking to buy a home in Fresno and I'm pre-approved and unrepresented. Would you be able to chat on the phone sometime? Question mark. And here's why I say it like that. When I say it like that, I text this. All I'm telling them is that I'm a buyer in Fresno. I'm not telling them I'm a huge investor because often when someone hears you're an investor, especially realtors, a lot of realtors don't like to work with investors for some reason. So to get them on the phone at least and to start to build a relationship with them, all I say is like, hey, I'm a buyer in Fresno. And I also tell them that I'm pre-approved. They love to hear that. A realtor wants to know that you're pre-approved so that you're legitimate and you'll actually buy the home. And I also throw in that I'm unrepresented. All this means is that I'm not gonna have a realtor represent me and they can represent me so that they can earn double their commission. In real estate transactions on the MLS, if you're not familiar, there are 2 agents involved typically. One agent will represent the seller, one agent will represent the buyer. Let's say the listing commission is 6%. That means 3% would go to the seller's agent, 3% would go to the buyer's agent in most scenarios. But there are instances where that seller's agent can represent both sides. And that's what I'm recommending for you to pitch to them. Tell them you can represent me. That's why I tell them I'm unrepresented, because it gives them the idea like, oh wow, I can represent this guy and earn double my commission. It gives them hope. And then I just try to get them on the phone, because if this deal doesn't work, then I still want to talk to them, especially if they come across other distressed properties, and I can have those realtors find deals for me as well. And even if they don't want to get on the phone with you, I just still follow up with them every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, kind of depending on the situation, about that offer. So even though I made an offer and they didn't accept it at first, if they say no, it doesn't mean no forever. It just means no, not right now. So you just follow up with them and continue to follow up and stay firm on your price, on what the best is that you can offer. This is my best tip for you for working on the MLS, because a lot of investors, they start low and they work higher. That works really, really well when working direct to seller, I would say. However, if you're working straight on the MLS, be true to your word, because if a realtor can start to understand you as the person who stays true to their word, and if that's where your offer really is, and you're sticking to that offer over months of following up, they're gonna see you as legitimate. So these are the things that you should do if you wanna start finding deals on the MLS. Again, we didn't go super specific, but I told you what you should do, what your action steps are. And if you forgot, you wanna get pre-approved with a hard money lender or use their proof of funds. You wanna connect with a realtor to provide you MLS data so you can see what's on market and then start making offers. And then you wanna make these offers to the realtors, and either you're making the offers yourself to the realtors, or you're using your own realtor to help you make offers and talk to the agents if that realtor sent you the actual home. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, I make a ton of other content about real estate, money, and self-development. And I also just document my journey as a young real estate investor and entrepreneur. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you at the next one.